Well, howdy.
So we're in the third week of our adventure, and the game has definitely changed after coming out of the mountains. We were talking, the beauty was just unbelievable, and the sights, the mountains were tough, but the weather was perfect, the winds were always at our back, and then quite frankly, ever since we've come out of the mountains, the game has changed drastically, and in the last 3 days, before we couldn't decide what was the prettiest sight we saw. Quite frankly, now I'm not sure what's the ugliest sight that I see each day. We are in the middle of nowhere out here, and they call Montana the big sky state, and that's exactly what it is out in this part. When you move into eastern Montana, it's just giant sky everywhere, and the mountains are gone.
Nobody really wants to look down.
Yeah.
They want to look up because that's where the pretty stuff is.
That's where the pretty stuff is. So that's changed. The temperatures have gotten hot. We were at 90, 91, 92 today.
Well, the mornings are starting out cold.
Yeah. The mornings are still chilly, but it warms up. But then the other thing is that we're now dealing with wind. And that, as any cyclist knows, dealing with the wind is the least fun part of doing any kind of cycling trip. And so we dealt with 30 plus mile an hour winds today, 20 plus mile an hour winds yesterday. So that's kind of changed the game a little bit, but it's now gotten to a little bit more work, quite frankly, as far as what we're doing. So we trying to stay focused on the mission and the causes, because that'll keep us inspired, because it ain't about the scenery anymore.
Oh, okay.
You're up.
Wow, I'm up. So, it's kind of funny on the road. One of the things that we're done. We're definitely doing the drafting thing where we're staying behind, because there's a big difference when you're behind and not leading, especially if there is any kind of a wind, because you'll save 20, maybe even 25% of your energy staying behind somebody. So when it's your turn up front, it's your turn to face the wind, break the wind for everybody else. Tell you one other thing that's kind of funny is there's not a lot of beauty out there, but there's some animals. So one morning we look over to the side, and there's a huge, maybe 50 head of horses that are over there, and we start kind of yelling at them and trying to get them up and moving. And sure enough, they all of a sudden got up. They started kind of running this way, then they all kind of ran up a hill over that way, and
beautiful.
That was pretty darn cool. Since then I've yelled at some cows. I have that kind of voice, and the cows never cease to at least pick their head up and turn and look at you like, what the hell do you want? So, there's a few things to keep us entertained. We've also definitely figured out the packing. So at this point, we have created enough space for the fifth seat. So Mom and Chelsea ride in the car while we are ahead of them on our bikes. And we're doing our rotation and stuff, but they're back there protecting us. But at the end of the day, we all five have to get in the car, generally speaking, to go somewhere. So for a while, that was a really, really difficult thing. I think we posted a picture, or Chelsea posted a picture of everything was covered except for her head. And at this point, we had figured out the packing enough to create some better space for her in the back. So that's been good. Meals have been interesting, haven't they, Raleigh?
Yeah, well, I'll touch a little bit more on the ride. I mean, this is the grind. I mean, we are working hard right now, and it does take everything we can to stay focused on it and finish the day. Getting 70 miles in isn't just that easy, especially when the sights aren't so wonderful. But this is one that we really do reflect on the reason for the bike ride, and reflecting on the children in Haiti, and this is really what we're going to bring home to them. And if there could be some way that there could be a cure coming to deal with sudden unexpected death syndrome in children, that would be huge. That would be a total change. So that has been our focus, away from the beautiful scenery that we're riding by. Every meal is a mystery meal. We don't know where we're going to eat and where we're going to end up and what it's going to be. I mean, tonight was a great example. I mean, we just kind of stumbled into a place, and it was just a little bit different. It's been an adventure just
Well, there was the one
part.
place that was rated 4.8 stars, but they only served beer, no food.
Yeah.
I didn't see a problem with that.
But as a group, we're getting along great. I mean, our camaraderie is strong. We're lifting each other up when we need to. This is good for all of us.
I guess the other thing that I'm noticing, I know it's happening with me, especially today, we spent We had one turn on the bikes. We were on the bikes for about an hour and a half, and I think
It's 29
after
miles.
17 days, that much time on the bike, the little ailments are starting to add up. I know
Next.
I've got some shin splints. I kind of did something on my shoulder. And Dennis has had a shoulder issue. Raleigh's had a back issue. It's like each morning is a little bit tougher and tougher to get on the bike. So I don't know if we had this many ailments 8 years ago.
No, I don't think so.
But there's
Just a little bit older now.
A little bit older and a few more ailments, so we've got to kind of work our way through that. But hopefully, once we get the juices flowing, the days will go better. But
I was reading
a little stiff right now.
I was reading an article just a little while ago when we were trying to look ahead on the road, and there was a fellow that was in there and talked about how he had done the east to west, or the west to east Trans-America one, and he had done it when he was really younger. And so when he was younger, he was doing 70 miles a day. And then he did it again when he was older. He reset his clock to 55 or 50 miles a day in order to do it. Well, you know, for us, we've got a timetable, and our timetable is that we're going to be in New York on July 14th. So in order to do that, we've got to stick to our timetable, which means we got to push pretty hard. And for a 54, 56, and 58-year-old guy, you know, it's not a nothing. It's not something that just comes easily. Those aches and pains, our hands going numb, our bodies just getting tired by the end of the day. It just happens.
But your words of encouragement are huge.
Yeah.
And when
Yeah,
you send
no
your
question.
emails or you go on to brothersbike.org
Facebook.
or Facebook, and those comments you make help lift us up a little bit more. So please don't stop that. Don't stay engaged.
Yeah.
We're loving it. Thank you very much, and everybody. God bless you.
Talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Talk to you next week.